excited about the game, and we're at the last game for our seniors this weekend, and really happy with the result after watching the film and everything. Just proud of our guys. Just a commitment to playing tough and being in a physical game. That was good. A good response from all our guys in all three phases. And so, looking forward to the momentum that we were able to create. And we need that going into this last game. And we knew going into that game that Cincinnati was going to give us their best shot. It was their senior night, and now we're here at our senior day and our senior game. And so the goal will be controlling the emotions, because we've been part of it, and we talk about it, and having those guys figure out that it's going to be an emotional time for them, but also to embrace the opportunity and to go out and play their best. And so really getting over the emotions of this being your last game, and maybe even approaching the concept of it right now, so they can understand it, and then let's go play the game and have fun and perform at our best. We do that, and I think everything else will take care of itself. A really good team. UCF is coached by Scott Frost, who's got a great reputation in what he can do, especially with the offensive mind that he is. He's had a lot of success at UCF, and this is his second stint. So, we can see on film they're a dangerous team, and that their roster's full of talent and skill and speed. And so this is not going to be an easy game, but we feel good about getting the most out of our guys and performing at our best and seeing what happens. We're going to need to play all three phases, complementary football, and do our best to make sure that we're in a best position for success. But looking at their staff, I mean, I know Alex has been there for a while. He's got a great reputation as a defensive mind, and so they have really good talent, great coaches and the coaching staff. They're a well-coached team, and I know they're a dangerous opponent. You look at what's going on in the Big 12 conference. Nothing's easy, So you look at the games that happened over the weekend, a lot of tight games, and we remember being in a position where they're playing for a lot right now. They're playing for bowl eligibility, and we're playing for a lot too. So there's a lot riding on this game. Just want to find a way to go 1-0 this weekend. Keep focused on our opponent and stay humble, stay hungry, and away we go. Just kind of doing the same things that we've been doing and trying to keep the momentum going. So what questions do you guys have for me?
We'll start off with Mitch Harper.
Kalani, wanted to ask, just how your team came out health-wise. We saw, obviously, Chase, as you noted, after the game in Cincy, that he took himself out. But the TV broadcast showed in the fourth quarter, Bear kind of grimacing at times. How's your team health-wise heading into this final week of the regular season?
Yeah, everybody's sore. I mean, Chase has got. I mean, obviously he couldn't go in the game, but we've got to make a decision on what's the best thing for him this week, and so we'll evaluate that as we get closer towards the middle of the week. Bear's fine. The guys are tough, and LJ, those guys they're banged up. Everybody should be banged up right now in college football going into the last week, last game of the season, so the regular season. So we don't expect anyone to be 100% until we get to Saturday, but we're gonna have to practice hard this week. We got some sparring to do and get this team ready for this weekend. But the guys are banged up. That's the game of football. That's why we anticipate that happening, and we know it's going to be a painful process and part of it. So proud of the guys, though. They'll find a way to get back and get healthy and be ready to roll. But mindset's got to be focused on working hard and getting it done.
Then wanted to ask you said in your opening remarks that the momentum was built or gained from that win in Cincinnati. And in what areas do you feel like is areas of momentum going into this final week? Was it just solely the rushing attack, or what other areas did you see that you feel like is building momentum heading into this final week?
Yeah, all of it. I just think physical momentum is what I care about the most. The guys were tough and strong. I mean, that's where you can always control that. You can't control what happens to the ball, and even if mistakes are made, we got to always bank on the fact that we're committed to going through a little bit of pain and sacrificing so we can get a win. And so that's the thing that I'll start with that. everything else kind of works. I mean, you named them all right there. I was proud of the way the guys were able to do some things and create turnovers, take care of the football, run the ball, be physical downhill, and also run the ball outside. We were able to possess the ball. I mean, A-Rod doesn't get enough credit for what he's able to do as an offensive coordinator. I'm going to keep telling you that he's a dream if you're a defensive coordinator to have, because he complements, doesn't have an ego, and he's all about getting a win. So I love the way that the coordinators have worked together. That's with A-Rod, Jay, and K-Pop, and the way they were able to work in harmony. It reflects in the way the players work together on as a team in all three phases.
Next question from Brandon Gurney.
Speaking of physical play, second week in a row, your defensive line was honored with the defensive line of the week in the Big 12. Can you comment on just how well their play has been and how big that's been for your team overall?
Yeah, I think the guys are understanding a lot of what they can do up front. We have a lot of young guys that are still learning and growing in the system, but it's also good to see leaders like Keanu and JT. Those guys do some wonderful things up front, and then you combine that with what Vil and Bodie and Clegg and Tausili and Nusi, all those guys in the mix, man. You get a bunch of guys with Anisi and those guys are all playing great football, and they're doing it at a high level. And I think you have to kind of look at their coaches too. They do some really good things together, man, and it's been nice. And I know a lot of the attention goes to the linebackers, but there's people in front of the linebackers making stuff happen and getting pressure on the quarterback and causing interceptions, things like that. Those guys have been able to create some chaos, and that's been nice to depend on.
Speaking of Anisi, he came back with a big club on his hand. How limited is that, if any, and how big is his presence back in the line for you guys?
I think he can only pick his nose with one hand now. That sucks, but he's effective. I mean, you can't use the club as a weapon, but I'm proud that our training room and our doctors could figure out a way for him to keep playing. But he's effective enough. Unfortunately, he can't use that hand, but he can use the rest of his body and to take up some space. But the club is definitely helping him just be on the field and stay safe.
Next question from Jay Drew.
Yeah, Kalani, I know it's senior day and you're going to honor a bunch of seniors Saturday. What has this particular class meant to the program, and what are you going to remember about these guys?
Yeah, the leadership, the overall buy-in, and then the willingness to bring their brothers along. Just I look at all these guys, and then I mean, it's awesome. I'm so proud of them and proud of what they've been able to build here, and the culture that's thriving with them, and the autonomy that they've been given, but the ability to take that even further, and have it reach out to the fan base and to the community. It's been super impressive, and I'm just proud of all of them, man. I love what they've been able to do, on the football field, but more proud of what they've been able to accomplish in the classroom. We've had record GPAs as a team because of them and what their example that they set, and then what they've been able to do in the community. On the field stuff has been amazing too. So they've had a lot of wins, and they've ushered us into the into the Big 12 and had some success now the last couple of years, and we just got to finish it strong for them.
And then I just want to ask about Tiger Bachmeyer, the role he's playing. How has he kind of handled it as far as coming in? Obviously, his little brother's doing some amazing things. Just what has he been like as far as a teammate and kind of a mature aspect of his game?
Yeah, I think he's been amazing just with his leadership, because he works hard all the time. He's not, I think when you look at the stats, they don't jump out at you, but he does all the little things right. I mean, there's things that he does on the field that you don't really show up on the stats. He blocks, runs right routes, and he does all the little things right. I mean, he's not perfect, but man, he's close to it, and he's a perfect teammate. So, and it helps that he has a little brother, playing under center. So he's been amazing for us, and we it's just been good to see him thrive in the culture that we have, and for him to be a big brother, not just to Bear, but to others.
Next question from Jake Hatch.
Kalani, what is your philosophy on guys who may not be seniors, but this could be the final home game? Do you want them to walk?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we did that with Chase Roberts last year, and we'll do that with a number of guys. I mean, that's just well, we want to do it the right way. Some guys are lucky; they get two senior walks and blankets and things like that. So.
Also wanted to ask you, UCF's going to be battling for bowl eligibility. They won last week to get themselves in one game. How much are you expecting from them as they come in fighting for their postseason lives?
Yeah, we were expecting a lot. I mean, we were in that position a couple years ago, you know, and so we know exactly what their mindset's going to be, and there's a lot to play for on their side and also for us. And I mean, this is the simple thing is we want to win at home for our fans, but also for our seniors, and we won't, you know, there's a lot riding on it for us too. So it's a big game for both sides, and you know, we're going to get their best shot. We just need to make sure that ours shows up as well.
Next question from Kyle Ireland.
Kalani, in addition to getting those seniors playing time on Saturday and maybe guys that, you know, maybe it's their last home game there at LaVell Edwards Stadium, how do you balance out guys that are going to be redshirts this year and trying to get them playing time either on Saturday or in the postseason?
Yeah, the red shirts, I mean, they're given the 4 games, and so we have some guys that are already at their 4-game max. And so, you know, those guys will honor their red shirt, and then, you know, if we are able to, they can play in the postseason. So, so that's what we're going to be doing. We everything's been, you know, we've been strategic about how much we want to use them and when, and we'll continue to do that. There's a number of guys that fit in that category.
Next question from Mitch Harper.
Kalani, you've had the chance to coach a lot of good running backs in your time at BYU, and LJ Martin seems to be the latest. What would you say has been the biggest difference in him this year compared to the past 2 years? I know he was a leading rusher for you guys the past 2 years, but what's been the biggest change for where he's kind of leveled up, it seems like?
Yeah, I think he you know, he's still young. I mean, he's a true junior. So he didn't redshirt. He played right away. And so I mean, and so when you're coming along, and the biggest thing I've seen is that his comfort level with the offense. I mean, it's not he's not learning anymore. This is stuff that he knows really well, and then he's also giving, you know, some advice on what he wants and what he wants to do and type of runs that he likes. I mean, it's nice when we're in timeout and we can sit there and look at him and say, what do you like? And he's kind of like, I like everything, but this is, you know, what we're good at. And so it's nice to have him, you know, be part of that. And when you're brand new to it, I think a lot of times you're still trying to learn it and you're just trusting it. Now he's owning it, and he has a say on what he wants to do and when he wants to do it, you know. And so you know, he wanted to run the ball a lot, and we gave him 32 runs. So I think we can trust him. He's a team leader. He's voted captain by all his peers, and so to see the growth that he's been able to make from when he first got here as a true freshman and to where he's at now has been awesome. And he keeps growing and getting better every day.
And for guys like him, you noted he's a true junior. He might have a decision after this year. Do you and Coach Unga and Roderick, do you guys talk to him about where he's at as far as his thinking now, or do you wait until, you know, after the season to kind of cross that bridge? No, we've been talking about him and his situation the entire year. So we're if you're going to be there are phases and when you want to do that, but we know he's a next level player, and he doesn't even want to think or care about that. Right now he wants to win this week, and that's what I appreciate about him. But yeah, we have to, as a head coach and as coaches for us, we want what's best for our young men. And you know, if guys feel like there's a chance that they may be able to go to the league early, then we want them to walk this weekend. And worst case scenario, they get
2 senior blankets.
Last question will be from Jay Catch.
Yeah, Kalani, a bit of a two-parter, so I'll start out with the first part. Do you feel like LJ may have put kind of right up against the barrier of how many reps you could give a guy in a game with those 32 carries, 35 touches overall?
You said, is that the barrier?
About as many as you want to give a guy in game, or is it I guess fluid in a way?
No, he could do more. He knows that too. We just the question is when and how, and his body is feeling great. I mean, when you run that much, you're going to get. And he just didn't just run; he was physical. So, yeah, you're going to get a little sore and all that, but it's going to feel good. Nobody was happier than him after the game. So. If you give him the ball that many times, he's going to do things with it that's unique and special, and he's in the right mindset and right, right feel with his body that he can do that.
And assuming you have this game in control on Saturday, would you give thought to resting guys like that as you get the control of said game?
Well, you've been around me long enough now. You think I'm going to rest guys and give the backups a chance to play, or that's what you've seen from me, right? That's but let's take care of the game. Let's get to the game first. You can never assume anything in any game. So I heard the questions. I mean, every game is close in the Big 12, and I'm not saying that we have to plan for everything, but we have to plan for everyone's best shot. And if you don't focus on what's the task at hand, then you get in trouble. And we saw that happen with a lot of teams that took others, that didn't. I don't know if it didn't take them seriously or their best showed up, and you had all these tight games over the weekend, and that's happened all year long. And we've had maybe people didn't take us seriously. I have no idea, but all I know is I can control what we do, and so nothing's going to be easy. I can't assume anything other than we have to be at our best, and that's my job as a coach. Get these guys ready to go, get them committed to playing physical style of football, and then the rest takes care of itself.
All right, that'll be it. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Being here.
Yeah, of course.
All right, we'll start off. Our first question will be from Mitch Harper.
Logan, Kalani said that momentum was gained from that win over Cincinnati. How would you describe the momentum that this team has heading into this regular season finale against UCF?
I feel that as the weeks have gone on throughout the season, our team has just been closer, playing better as a unit and on all three phases, special teams, offense, and defense. And I feel like going into this final game, we're just starting to hit our peak, so I'm excited.
And then for you, senior day coming up, last year you went through this, that Houston game. That was, was thought to be senior day, and then you get an extra year. Are you better equipped for the emotions that come with the senior day after having experienced it before?
Yeah, I would say yeah, but it's still going to be a bittersweet moment, especially with the team that we have and my experiences here. It's been nothing short of amazing here at BYU, and I'm glad I've been able to spend my time here, the time I've spent here, and yeah, just taking it all in. Grateful for the chance I've been here, and I'm grateful for the season that we've had.
Next question from Brandon Gurney.
Logan, second week in a row, your defensive line was named Big 12 Defensive Line of the Week. How aware are you of those recognitions, and how much pride do you take in it as maybe the senior statesman of that defensive line group?
Yeah, I mean, we take a lot of pride in trying to stop the ball, stop the run. We pride ourselves in practice going against one of the top O-line in the nation, I feel like, and you've seen in this past game of our LJ and his rushing yards, but I feel like in practice we go against one of the best, so it's good to go out and perform on Saturdays, especially when we only have 3 down linemen and being able to stop the run. And we need all 11 guys, so it's not just the D-line, but like I said, we're just playing better as a unit each and every week.
Next question from Jake Hatch.
Yeah, Logan, you, as Brandon talked about, was one of the elder statesmen on this defensive line, and especially the defensive end group. Give us some insight into how you've helped guys like Tassili Khan and Musi Kalani kind of get into the system and get so adapted so quickly.
Those two are already well equipped when they got into the system. I wouldn't say I had much to do with it. It's great seeing those two, and especially all the other DNs in the room. A lot of great young talent, and the team's going to be in good hands, especially in that position for a while. But it's been fun to be around those young guys and to be able to share what I've learned throughout the years and see them go out on Saturdays and perform and have success. And it's just a fun room to be in.
You've been pretty effective in your own role so far this year. What's led to you being so effective just coming off the edge?
I would say just understanding our defensive line goals. We have goals and what we want to accomplish as a defensive line unit and personally. And I feel like, especially going into this season, I just wanted to make sure there was nothing left unsaid or no doubts left on the table, and just trying to spill it every week. And I'm just surrounded by great players. We have some great D tackles and DNs in our defensive line group, and just playing against them just makes me look better when the ball comes to me. So, yeah, I got to tip my hat to those guys.
Next question from Sean Walker.
Yeah, Logan, you touched on this a little bit because now, about to go through your second senior night and all that. But could you, I know for a lot of guys when they get to this point, they talk about how it sneaks up on them. They can't believe how quick the time has gone. Could you have imagined being at this point, celebrating your second senior night at BYU, doing what you're doing on last year's team, this year's team, everything else, when you were that true freshman, the first headed up to Weaver State?
No, actually, that's something pretty surreal to me. Especially, I speak about this with my wife often. Being in the situation that we're in, it's pretty surreal to be here at BYU, top 10. We're a top 10 team in the nation. Big 12 championship contenders, just all those recognitions. It's pretty crazy to see that that's where we're at here, and I wouldn't be able to say that that's what I envisioned when my freshman year at Weaver State. But like I said, I'm grateful to our Heavenly Father and what He's blessed me with, and all these opportunities and these doors that have opened in my life to lead me to where I'm at today. So yeah, it's pretty surreal, but I'm just grateful that I'm here.
And then I don't want to get too personal if you don't want to or feel too uncomfortable or anything, but one of my favorite things after our home games this year has been seeing you, and you grab a special little man and put him on your shoulder as you circle the field. You probably know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Boy.
Uh-huh.
Just what do those moments mean to you? Being able to share them with your family, your wife, obviously, but also, your little son. I think he's like 3
Yeah.
and 2
Yeah.
right now, I think.
Yeah, he's 3 years old. I think I credit that to the culture that Coach Kalani's established here, making us feel welcome, our families feel welcome, and that's something I look forward to every home game. For the past few years, being able to take my son around when we high five the fans, and he actually looks forward to that too. Like every game day, like when he runs up to me, I think he's gonna say like "Good job, Dad" or whatever. But he says, "Oh, let's go high five." So I'm like, all right. So I think that's a fun experience. It's gonna be one of the core memories for sure. Playing here at BYU.
And then last question from Mitch Harper.
Logan, you brought up it's surreal to be on this BYU team after everything you've navigated, that's having so much success. I'm curious, how surreal has it been to experience all the changes in college football throughout your career, and from portal, NIL, all these different things that have transpired during your time in college football? What would you say, as someone who's experienced it, the pros and cons of this new landscape of the sport?
Yeah, I think the new landscape of the sport is really deserving for the athletes. Coming in and seeing where it was before to where it's at now, I think it's the way to go to be an athlete in college. It's a great experience. And here at BYU, they take care of you, your families, and it's been just a great experience overall, being in college and seeing all the different changes that have happened. But yeah, it's pretty crazy, but I feel like that's one of the blessings I've had to experience in my life, is just being a collegiate athlete, and especially here at BYU.
All right, thank you, Logan.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, next up we'll for being here.
Yep, good to see you guys.
All right, we'll start off with Mitch Harper.
Austin, what were the key takeaways the offensive line took from that win over Cincinnati without Waylon Lopwaho in the lineup?
Yeah, it was definitely, we definitely missed Waylon, him being a leader in the offensive line group, and he was definitely missed, but I think we did everything that we wanted to do going into that game. I think we executed everything very well. Coach Woods and our GAs and Coach A-Rod put us in great positions for us to really run the ball the way we wanted to, and really just make creases and holes for the running backs, and especially for LJ. And the way things turned out, we were very happy with the end result.
And then looking ahead to this week, you're listed on the roster as a junior, but you're going to be recognized on Senior Day. Is this going to be your final year? Do you have eligibility remaining after this season? Just maybe lay out your options going forward.
Yeah, no, I that might be a typo. I'm definitely a senior. This will be my last game at Lavelle Edwards, so it's going to be a surreal moment for me and my family, but we're super excited and happy for the future. So,
next question from Sean Walker.
Austin, I asked LJ after the game on Saturday about kind of the holes in the creases you guys were opening for him. He gave all the credit for his career high rushing yard to you guys on the offensive line. I want to see, though, just from a lineman's perspective, what is it that makes LJ so great? His vision, his burst, his speed, like whatever it is. Like, what do you see out of him that makes him kind of do what he does as he kind of follows you guys through a bunch of big holes, I guess?
Yeah, I think it's just who he is as a person. He didn't just come up on these 1,000 yards just this season. It's all the work that he's put in the off season as well. All of his success that he's had. It's definitely been something that he's been working towards and working very hard towards. We were honestly just there, doing our job, and he was doing his job, and ultimately, it got him to where he is now. And so that's just kind of how we take it as an O-line group. We're just doing our job in our 111 football.
Next question from Jake Hatch.
Yeah, Austin, you've been rotating both at guard and at right tackle. Just take us into what's going on there. Is this a chance for you to next level of both positions?
Yeah, I think Coach Woods definitely, wanted me to get some reps at tackle as well. Before coming here to BYU, I did play tackle at my last school, and so that was kind of just a decision that we've talked about over the season. And he felt, that I think it was the Iowa State game is when I started rotating again. He felt that was a good time for me to kind of just showcase that. But it's been in the talks for a while now, and so it's been good. We've had a good time, and it's been really fun.
I also wanted to ask you, in terms of you going from FCS to FBS Power 4 level, do you feel like the step is maybe not as hard as you thought it might have been? Like, take us through the whole your process, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a different process. Going from an FCS to an FBS level, things are a little bit faster. But it's definitely, you feel more prepared in a sense, like your body's going to be right, your mental, your physical, just everything's in order. Rather, at a lower school or a lower division school, you kind of have to do a lot of things on your own, if that makes sense.
Next question from Jay Drew.
Yeah, Austin, obviously you've coming off a really emotional game, and it's senior night, so emotions will be running high. How will you guys respond, and how will you react and guard against any sort of, I don't know if you'd call it an emotional letdown or coming back to earth sort of thing?
I think we're just going to do, what our coaches, tell us to do each and every week, flush it, get our minds right for this new opponent. Don't let the outside noise get to us or anything. Something our O-line coach says to us all the time is the environment changes and we don't. And then he also says, we got to have poise in the noise. So just keeping our nose down and our heads in the right headspace, and we'll continue to do what we do.
All right, do we have any other questions for Austin? Okay. Oh, Mitch Harper next.
Yeah, Austin, just curious, the experience that you've had at BYU when you picked BYU out of the portal, has it been everything you kind of hoped for, and just maybe just what this experience has been at BYU and when you were navigating the portal?
Yeah, BYU has definitely been everything that I could have dreamt of. I've always wanted to be at BYU since I was a little kid. I grew up coming to the games, and being here has been such a surreal experience for not only me but for my family as well, my wife, my 2 daughters. And essentially I wouldn't really be here if it wasn't for my wife and my 2 kids. And I've loved every moment of being here, the coaching staff. I give a lot of thanks to them as well, but ultimately, I have to thank my Heavenly Father, my wife, and my family and our support system. But they've gotten me to this point, and I can't take it for granted. I love BYU, and I love my teammates. They really are the best teammates in the world, and so they've made these last 2 years a pretty magical experience. So,
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, any other questions? Okay, looks like you're good to go, Austin.
Thank you.
All right, what questions do we have for Talan? We'll start off with Jake Hatch.
Yeah, Talan, senior night, senior day coming up this week. You've had an unconventional college career. I remember you came home off a mission, blew an Achilles, and just it's kind of up and down. Just take us through it. What's your emotions looking at this now?
Yeah, I mean, they kind of been building up over the last 5 years, but emotions are high this week. Thinking about a lot of lasts coming up, a lot of lasts have happened, and just being overwhelmed with the support that I have from my family. I got tons of family coming down from Washington and from all over the country to support me this week, and it's just super grateful for what I've been able to accomplish here at BYU, and the relationships that I've built and the friendships that I've built and that will continue forever, and grateful for coaches and teammates. And my career has been great. It's been, like you said, a lot of ups and downs, Achilles, collarbone injuries, but being able to play and contribute and help the team in any way I can has been nothing but an honor, and super grateful for that opportunity that I've had.
Coming off the Cincinnati game, just give us a feel of how you feel about the teams that roll now into this regular season finale.
Sorry, can you repeat that? Sorry.
Coming off the Cincinnati game, just give us a feeling of, the momentum you guys have, gained. Kalani talked about the momentum you gained from that game against the Bearcats rolling into UCF.
Yeah, that was a big win. We knew going in that if we win the next 2 games that we could have a chance to go to the college or the Big 12 championship game and have a chance to win the Big 12, which is a huge deal, and obviously be able to continue playing after that. So knowing that's a big game and being able to go in and execute and play complementary football, all 3 phases working together. Obviously there was things here and there that we have to clean up, but seeing the team fight and play together was super inspiring, and gives the team a lot of confidence moving forward. That we still, Kalani might say, he tells us every week that we still haven't played our best yet. Full 60 minutes of what we know we can do, and as we strive to get to that, I know that we can accomplish a lot coming up and yeah, like you said, there's a lot of momentum, a lot of confidence with the team, and moving forward, and excited to see what we can do in these next few weeks.
Next question from Mitch Harper.
Talan, from the time that you committed to BYU, from the time you signed with BYU to now, the college football landscape has changed completely, whether it's portal, NIL, all these different things. As an athlete who's experienced all the changes, what have been the benefits and maybe some of the aspects that have been drawbacks in this landscape that's ever changing, it seems like, all the time?
Yeah, like you said, I've been here from signing to now. It's been a good amount of time, and I've seen a lot of change. Experience, initially when NIL was started to be a thing, and then now it's revenue sharing, and that's still ever changing and going to continue to evolve as time goes on. But the portal and all that, it's been interesting. Been super lucky and fortunate and blessed to be able to stay here at BYU the whole time, and to be able to benefit from those things while being here at BYU. And I think as college football kind of progresses and evolves, it's still just football. You still have to play between the lines, and that's what really matters. It doesn't really matter anything else off the field. Whoever has the most points then the game wins, and that's what goes in the win column, and that's what matters. And so being able to be part of this program and see what we've been able to do the last couple of years, even though there's been a lot of change, it's been amazing. And I think Kalani has done a good job with obviously things on the field, but off the field as well. And hiring strength staff coaches, new defensive coaches, and new offensive coaches for position groups and stuff like that. It just goes to show that he, great man, great coach, and he's the man for the job. And I love Kalani, and I think he's handled the change well, and that's trickled down to the players, and we've handled it, I think, well, and it's been fun.
You probably touched on some of this in my follow-up, but just, what always kept you at BYU? Because in a landscape where it could be easy just to, bounce if you're not getting the snap counts that you maybe desired, what always kept you here in Provo?
Yeah, I just went back to relationships, and, being here for now 5 years, the relationships that I've built are hard to leave and hard to give up if I were to go somewhere else. And I've always thought, even being recruited and everything, that BYU was the place for me where I could thrive in all areas of my life. And it's having come here now and seen what's happened and what I've experienced, it's definitely true. It's the best place to go if you want to thrive in all areas of your life. And that's what really kept me here, is the environment, the culture, relationships, and teammates and all that.
Next question from Sean Walker.
Talan, I just kind of wanted to hone in on something that you brought up right there a little bit more micro, because when you got here, BYU was an FBS independent. You guys, I think you went to the Independence Bowl that first year you were here when you redshirted. You were kind of in that spot, and now this is a BYU team that you guys have everything in front of you, Big 12 contenders, maybe even more than that, 22-3 the last 2 years. Just what do you think it's been about sort of the last couple seasons, I guess, has really sparked this pretty incredible turnaround? And do you feel like the senior class maybe can take some pride in playing a role in helping turn BYU from what it was when you got here into what you guys are right now?
Yeah, I always talk about, avoiding pride and all that, but I think it's a good pride when you talk about the senior class, kind of feeling a little bit of pride in what we've been able to build. And I think it goes back to Kalani and the culture that he's been, trying to build this time here. And the more and more buy-in that you have, in my experience, for each year, the more buy-in that you have is the more successful the team ends up being. So it goes back to the players, and then obviously leadership, kind of helping the new guys, because obviously we talked about the transfer portal, and there's also freshmen coming in, and helping people understand what the culture is and how we live it and what we do. BYU is a different place, and we take pride in that. And so helping everyone kind of get on board and follow Kalani and what he set set up for us, I think, is what has led to a lot of success last couple of years and what will lead to the success moving forward. I think there's a dynasty building at BYU, and happy to be part of the beginning of that.
All right, do we have any other questions? Okay, looks like you're good to go.